Hey guys, how's it going? CoreData here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing some more cards, and we're taking a look at one of the more interesting archetypes introduced in naval warfare, and that is US Air. So, first and foremost, before we start, apologies for the sudden change in appearance. I have received a haircut and shaved, so I look a bit less disheveled. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. But I want to talk about this deck today, which is US Italy Air. This is one of the most interesting decks to have come out of naval warfare. So, why exactly are we playing US Air? Air is typically a Brit main archetype, normally Britain with Soviet, Japan, or Italy ally, but naval warfare brought about some very interesting cards that help aid US Air, primarily in the form of air cover. 3 cost, add 2 Brewsters to the battlefield in the front line if possible. The Brewsters are 1 cost, 1/2 fighter tokens, has +1 attack when in the front line, so these are basically 3 costs to spawn a pair of 2/2s in the front line. And also the PB2Y Coronado. This is the second and probably the more important card, honestly, for US Air. 3 cost, 2/4 bomber, show when drawn, add a Brewster 2 FA to the support line. Your fighters have +1 attack. So basically, this every time we draw one of these off the top of our deck, we'll spawn a Brewster for free in the support line. And when we play it, it'll just statically give our fighters +1 attack. Think of like Type 93 in Japan Aggro. These 2 cards make up the main reason that we're running US as our primary nation for this deck. Frequently, like I said, Air is a Brit-focused deck focusing on things like the Gladiator and the Shark, cheap 1 cost, 1/3 air units that are very easy to deploy, very easy to run up with buffs, things like Sea Embargo and Close Air Support. Whereas this deck is more focused on going wide. So, like I said, because we're able to spawn so many Brewsters off the air covers and the Coronados, we're able to make use of board buffs a lot more effectively, like board-wide buffs, as opposed to Close Air Support, which targets a unit and its 2 adjacent ones. So, an example of that is, of course, 4th Alabama, one of my favorite cards from the new set. One of the most interesting cards to play around. Just a very high-impact draw when you have an established board. We're also playing 3 copies of Carrier Cover. 1 cost, choose 1. Your fighters get +1/+1, or move to the front line if possible. 9 times out of 10, we're going for +1/+1. Just a 1 cost fighter anthem is pretty huge in a fighter-focused deck. And we are also running 1 copy of Strike Group. This is a 3 cost show when drawn. Draw a random air unit from your deck. Your air units get +1/+1. So it's a 3 cost anthem for all air units, not just fighters. And the show when drawn is pretty powerful on this card. So when we top deck this, it'll immediately show itself to our opponent, and we'll just grab a random air unit from our deck. Hopefully, we're usually crossing our fingers and hoping it's Coronado, because that will just draw us the Strike Group, the Coronado, and spawn a Brewster in the backline. But to make use of all these show and drawn cards like the Alabama, the Coronado, and the Strike Group, we are playing 3 copies of Night Patrol, another card from the new set, and another key tool for this deck. 2 cost, draw 2, choose a card in your hand to put it on top of your deck. This allows you to restack your show and drawn effects to draw them on the following turn, or recycle them with a 4 freedom on the same turn. Really powerful card, very key for this deck to really ratchet up the damage you can output with things like 4th Alabama. Being able to draw an Alabama, Night Patrol, put it on top, 4 freedom, draw the Alabama again, is a huge deal and can lead to very early kills out of nowhere. But that's like the primary air package that that US has received from this set. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Like I said, we are Italy ally, and we're running the 12 best Italy ally cards for air, being 4 of the Fiat CR42s. This is just a cheap 1-drop. It frequently comes down as a 1 cost 2/2 fighter, and because we're able to so easily spawn Brewster tokens, it is frequently a 2/2 later on in the game as well. We're also running 4 copies of the Matchy C200. Again, this is a very cheap fighter, but it has the opportunity to be massive, again, on account of all the Brewster tokens we're able to pump out. 2 cost 2/2 deployment gets +1/+1 for each other friendly air unit. So this often comes down as a 4/4, a 5/5, or a 6/6. In some cases, it is a huge, beefy fighter for not a lot of investment. It can give us some heft to get over the line in slightly grindier matchups. We're also running 2 copies of Wolves of Tuscany. This is a 2 cost 1/5 with Blitz. When it's in the front line, your air units have +2 attack. Think of this as like a static 4th Alabama. We just pay 3, get this into the front line, and our fighters are basically blitzkrieged for the entire time this is on the battlefield. Very, very high impact card, but only really impactful in slower matchups. It is not very good against aggro unless you can get it into the front line early. But frequently we're fighting pretty aggressively for the front line against aggro anyway, so this is usually not going to get the buff. But a 1/5 body is relevant in more defensive oriented matchups. And finally, for the Italian cards, we are playing 2 copies of Regia Aeronautica. Again, like I said before, because we're able to produce so many Brewster tokens, the Regia Aeronauticas are usually quite big. On average, the Aeronauticas in this deck are bigger than you'd see out of Brit Air. So yeah, this is a super high impact card right now, especially with decks like Legions running around. You really want some high impact board wide damage effects. This being able to clean up a Legions board is a pretty big deal. It's very solid in the current metagame. As the metagame shifts away from like Legions, I can see maybe cutting 1 copy of Regia, but right now 2 copies is perfectly fine. As for the rest of the deck, we are playing 2 copies of Duress. This is just a very flexible suppress. Being 0 credits in a deck like this, where we're looking to spend all of our credits every turn being aggressive, buffing our units and operating them, the 0 cost on the suppression is pretty big. It makes it very easy to weave into turns. Just like getting through Legions or like just a problematic guard in general. So yeah, Duress is much better than M10 in this deck. If we were more mid-ranged, we'd be looking more towards M10s, but we really care about using our credits efficiently early on, so the 0 cost is a big deal. For freedom, like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory. Give a unit ++1, draw a card. This is really good for getting our units out of range of things like Crossfire. It's also useful for redrawing a stacked 4th Alabama or a stacked Coronado. Just a very powerful all-round good tool for US decks. We are playing 164th Infantry. This is just a solid 1-drop. A 0-op 1/1 with Blitz means we can take the front line pretty early. And on death, giving a friendly unit +1/+1 makes our other units a bit stickier. It can also throw off crossfires, things like that. And finally, for the cards I haven't talked about, we have 1 copy of Strategic Bombing, which is the only elite in this deck, and you get it for free. So for the budget players who've been asking for budget decks, I think this is going to be a very powerful option for you. Like I said, we only run one elite. It's the free elite you get for USA. We run exactly 3 different specials. I think you can probably get away without running Wolves of Tuscany. But yeah, Strategic Bombing is just a very important card in most US decks. 6 cost, deal 3 damage to the enemy support line, including the HQ, and the enemy loses credit slot. So it's burn, it's removal, and it's disruption. Very powerful card, and most US decks are going to want to run it anyway. As for cards that I'm not running, there are a few things you could play in this deck. I recently saw Meowdy, or SM2SM, playing a version of this deck on High Ladder, and he was playing, I believe he was playing the PBY Catalina. In his version, this is basically a Night Patrol at the start of every one of your turns. It is a very powerful effect. I just think it's a little bit too slow for this deck. I went with Night Patrol just to be a little bit more proactive, and being able to play Night Patrol on 4 and then do the thing and then also operate fighters at the same time is pretty relevant. But this is a really interesting tech choice. I recommend maybe testing it out. I wasn't super sold on it, especially with Soviet aggro being super common right now. Rush is really prevalent in the metagame, so this dying to a 1-cost order is not great, but definitely worth testing out. Another card you could potentially run in this deck is a card I don't have any copies of, which is the Grumman Goose. This is a phenomenal card draw tool in decks like this. 3 cost, 2/3 covert, reveal. When the enemy HQ is attacked this turn, you draw a card. This means that when you reveal this, every time you attack the HQ that turn, you draw a card, which means if you flip this and then attack 3 more times, you will have drawn 4 cards that turn. One of the best reasons to be playing US aggro right now. This is an insane draw tool for these types of decks. I just don't own any copies of it, so I can't really run it. If you are looking to run Goose, I would recommend maybe trimming 2 copies of Night Patrol and playing 2 copies of the Goose. Night Patrol is it's medium card draw. We're mainly using it for the ability to stack our cards back on top, but the Grumman Goose makes up for the lost card draw tenfold, so I would recommend maybe cutting 2 Night Patrol for Goose if you have it. Aside from that, there's not really too much to say. The deck is very solid. Like I said, it's a fairly budget deck for people who are looking or who don't have as many specials or elites to play with. For replacements, you could probably drop Wolves of Tuscany. You could play the 4th copy of Alabama, and a 2nd strike group would also be fine. And at that point, you only have to worry about Regia Aeronautica and For Freedom. and you get 1 copy for Freedom for free, I believe, from one of the starter decks. So yeah, the deck is super budget friendly. Highly recommend you guys check this out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Done some games. Up against Soviets. We ditch these two. I think we keep the carrier cover. Fiat is a great 1-drop. Double Fiat. So Soviet's probably going to be self-damage. Could be control. We're just going to go aggro with the Fiats here, because I can just carrier cover next turn. Another Fiat. Yeah, it's tough, right? Because I want to deploy this other Fiat, and then carrier cover. I can take out the T-35. I think I just do this. It puts me in a better spot if I top deck Alabama next turn. I can top deck Alabama, I can play Night Patrol, get in for a bunch of damage. That's fine. Air cover. I mean, I think I just do it this way, right? I take this trade and play air cover. Sickle, yeah. Takes out one of the 3/1s. Second sickle off the first. Takes out the second 3/1. You can take a trade with the one of the 2/2s on the front line here. Rush, yeah. Okay, Coronado is a great draw. We'll Night Patrol, we'll stack the Coronado. I'll carry recover next turn. I can just Regia here. I can Regia deal 3 to everything. Deal 3, and then I can get in for 3 in the front line, and then next turn I can play the Coronado plus carrier cover and swing. I think I did this. I don't think I have much of a choice. Seven to 7. Yeah. We got another rush. Heroes of the Soviet Union. There has to be another rush or something, right? Yeah. Find night patrol. I can, yeah, I think I just night patrol here. Find feet in Alabama. Put the Alabama on top, and then I have lethal. Carrier cover. Nice. Played through a lot of removal that time. Up against Germany. What? My cat is next to me meowing. I think I just ditched these two. 164th is fine. Juris. I hate passing here. I think I just play the Alabama, push it to the front line. Just for bodies. This is a decent crossfire if they want it, which is annoying. I cannot escape crossfire. Two more Brewsters in the front line. I can probably just play the matchy next turn. For freedom on the Alabama, just to blank another crossfire. Night Patrol. Night Patrol doesn't do anything for me here, does it? See what we hit. I'll stack for freedom. Warbonds. Route on the other plane. Bit frustrating, but it is what it is. I need another night patrol. I will stack the Alabama. I'll play for freedom. I will draw the Alabama. Wolfpack, yeah. Research. Kill the 2-2. Reggie has lethal. Nice. What a scuffed lethal. Up against Japan. Ooh. Ugh. Ditch strike group. Ditch night patrol. We'll keep for freedom. We'll keep air. No, we'll ditch for freedom. We'll keep air cover though. So we're gonna get answered with like cavalry regiment or something. Attaché. Burn. I'll just play wolves as a body here. Arado. Suppression. Maybe not. Ooh, Fiat is a fine draw, but I will just recover. Because next turn I can just push the wolves, play the Fiat, swing with both of the Brewsters. Never mind, I can't do that anymore. Tora. Engage at range, sure. Ooh. I mean, this sets up a big Regia. I mean, he could have... I mean, it has to be exactly Desperate Measures, right? I can trade one out. I trade one Fiat out. Takes 8. He's down to 7. Play the Matchy first, though. Desperate Measures is no longer saves him. Shifting Doctrine. They scoop it up. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna have to check that deck list after to see what they were actually playing. Okay. Germany. Strike Group is definitely going back. I'm tempted to keep everything else, honestly. This might be wrong, but I'm gonna keep everything, including the strap bombing. Turn 1 Fiat is very, very good here. Play turn 2 Matchy. Turn 3 play Wolves, blitz it up. Turn 4 swing. Second War Machine. Route on the Matchy. It's not great. It gives them a crossfire. I will just set up this Wolves because it survives crossfire. Crossfire will deal 3. War Bonds is fine. I think they're holding up Careless Talk. Maybe not. I just saw them hover a card at the end of turn. I will for freedom this just a blank crossfire. Coronado's huge. Coronado's a great draw there. Capitulation. Yeah. Carrier cover. Gonna go Night Patrol here. Find Alabama. Put the Coronado on top. I can deal 6. Maybe I should have stacked the Alabama. Yeah, I should have stacked the Alabama. That was a mistake because I can take them down to 9 this turn. I mean, this is assuming they can't answer the board, right? Because I could have pushed one, they take a trade. I draw the Alabama. Well, still be a turn off because I can't play a strap bombing next turn. I can just play the Fiat. They can crossfire this if they want. Panzergren. 35T. Combined arms, gonna push up, take out the Fiat, yeah. I can trade. It's also a solid strap bombing is the problem, right? Let's go strap bombing here. This lets him take the trade into the Brewster. Interesting choice. I need another Fiat. Trade. They're definitely running Maelstrom because they're a veteran deck. He has to hit face if he wants to activate this. Michigan. Sure. Takes out that, but he's at the Coronado. Geese. Close game. Yeah, I think stacking the Coronado is potentially a mistake, but it was fine. It worked out in the end. Soviets. Okay. We'll ditch Alabama and we'll ditch Coronado. We'll keep the Night Patrol. We find another Coronado. I might just Night Patrol and put the Coronado on top. Oh, this is gonna suck. It's just gonna have like rush and shit. Yeah, this rush is gonna suck. Sickle 35T, Jesus. I just need to try and remove this, this 676th. SU, yeah. Jurist is a good start. Like, I can duress Regia. Have I got a better line here? I can play the Coronado, I can take trade with this. No. Like, I have double Regia in hand. I think I can just afford to burn one here. This makes the trades they have left on board pretty bad. Blitzkrieg, okay. Am I just dead? I'm at 1. Sick. I mean, I can just Regia again, but I'm dead to literally anything off the top. I die to anything with Blitz. I've seen 235Ts though. If they have like SU 100. There's 7. No! Third 35T! No! God damn it, dude! Motherfucker. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I have one more deck to show off. I have covered every single nation except Soviet, so I do have a Soviet deck brewing in the tank right now for the next video. After that video goes up, we'll see if people want to continue to see cards content from me, and we'll make a decision of whether or not we'll continue with it from there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.